How's it going, Dr. Gordon, and my Communication for Social Change class? I want to start by apologizing if I'm not doing so hot. I tested positive for COVID. I'm on like day 3 right now. I probably should have done this beforehand, but end of the semester and whatnot. So I'm here to talk about my social campaign project. You guys have been keeping updated with this as we've presented pretty much throughout the whole semester, but I'm kind of glad we're doing this just so I can run through the whole campaign with you guys, and it'll make a lot more sense as like a whole thing. My program is called the ByStandard program, and I'm going to run down kind of like why I chose that name here in a little bit, but it should be pretty self-explanatory. So just a little background on bullying. It is a major issue in this country that's really not being addressed. It's a tough thing to tackle because there really isn't one specific reason why people bully in this world. People love to put others down just for no reason a lot of the time. So unfortunately, bullying is a really hard problem to tackle just because there really is no set reason why people do it. But one of the major reasons why it's a major issue is because of mental health. It's, I would say, the root of a lot of the mental health problems that we have in this country. Later down the road, a lot of people will develop severe depression and anxiety. I know it's something I've experienced firsthand, and I'm still dealing with confidence issues today because of my experiences in middle school, and it's something I'm trying to shake. But so as you can see here, there's plenty of types of bullying. I'm sure you're all aware of it. Bullying's not something that people aren't going to know exists because we've all kind of been through this whole, shtick. We've probably all seen, different presentations and stuff given in schools, but not really resonating why we shouldn't do it. Just kind of like, oh, this is bullying. This is what it is. Deal with it. That's my point of view of what's been going on, but let's run down the program a little bit. So the target audience for me, I want to present this program to the school board, which is honestly the greatest way to bring about any sort of change within a school system. So my target audience is going to be parents, faculty, and students within the local school district. It's going to be tough to develop this program and just go right to like Congress and be like, you need to put this in all schools without showing any sort of context at all. So I think starting off small, starting off in a local school district, working your way up into, like the city schools, then moving to the state, then moving to other states, and so forth is definitely going to be the best way to go about this. So yeah, my target audience is parents, faculty, and students. My whole campaign is designed around getting people to care about this so they show up to the school board meeting, and kind of the rest should be set in stone. Advocacy in numbers is extremely effective when you're looking at any social movement, especially when it's something as organized as a school board meeting. When they see that there's a ton of people in a room, people are definitely going to be more likely to follow it. I know that when I was in high school, I had to sit through a school board meeting for a class, and I was fortunate enough to see the bus rally. There was probably 30 bus drivers that were in the school board room preaching for higher wages, and they got it. And I don't think that they would have if they didn't have that many people there. It definitely brought severity to the issue. Moving on here, my campaign slogan, I don't really have like a slogan, but I figured the best way to go about it, because like my main approach is going to be through social media, I think a hashtag campaign should be suffice. So I just used the name of the program, ByStandard program. It's catchy, it's easy to remember, and the wording in it isn't like over the top. So ByStandard program, this is where I'm going to go over my name. Obviously, it's a play on the word bystander. It's called ByStandard because I want to create a new standard for those that would normally sit around and do nothing. That's what the whole campaign is designed around. It's getting kids who would not normally do anything to want to stand up and help, their friends and their classmates out in bullying scenarios. But also you can infer that it's a movement because of the word program. So it's very straightforward, and I think it's going to be extremely effective. So the 3 key messages that I've chose are, the first one is 50% of bullying stops when a peer gets involved. Join the fight, end bullying. Very, very straightforward there. Second one, it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a community to end bullying. Hashtag ByStandard program. That's where the ByStandard program hashtag is first used. And then the last one, the code of conduct is not enough. Start the hashtag ByStandard program in middle schools today. That third one really resonates with me because, as you can see over here with this picture over on the right side, that's what I feel schools are doing right now. They're just putting, oh, no bullying, no picking on others in a code of conduct, but kids don't listen to that. Kids don't respond to, don't do this, don't do that. They're at a time in their life where they're curious. They want to try new things, and I'm not saying like every kid wants to try and like pick on someone, but it's definitely a factor in it. You can't just say don't do this and don't do that and expect change. Kids need to learn about how to not bully in a dynamic setting, and I will talk about that later. So here's some of my flyer examples, just with my key messages on them. Just very simple, straight to the point. These flyers are going to be placed up in like schools, churches, restaurants, any like local buildings within the school district. As you can see, they got the logo, a couple pictures of bullying with the key message on it, and then of course the QR code to the Facebook group, which I will talk about in the next slide. So the methods and costs, it is very, very cost effective, this campaign. Just because we're talking about a local setting, it's not really going to cost too much. Obviously, social media, it's free. I showed you guys the Facebook groups function that I wanted to use for this program. It's over here on the right. If you wanted to go see that, I just dropped the link right there, just in case, you wanted to explore around it. But basically, it's going to be a way to organize thoughts and ideas. It's going to be a way to organize people like, okay, we're going to meet here at this time. Facebook groups is free to use. It gives the community a place to voice opinions and also organize information. It puts everything in one spot and almost acts as a website for the program, and I didn't have to spend any money. But specifically Facebook groups, because of the target audience, we were talking about, parents and faculty from like 30 and up. Like, a lot of them are going to be on Facebook. I feel like that's a very niche thing for the age group, is to be on Facebook. So that's where that's going to be. The second method here is the 1,000 campaign flyers. Those are very cost effective too. Just $250 for 1,000 campaign flyers, and you're talking about the whole campaign is funded by just that, and it's not even necessary. Those are really just accommodating for non-tech savvy individuals, those flyers, but it's a secondary option. It's something else that we can do for the campaign, so that's why I decided to include it. Is my inspiration. So the reason that I've done this whole project is 10 years ago, I was a part of a movie. In my elementary school, there was a teacher who came into the school, and he had a film background. He loved directing and producing movies, and he created an after-school club that was going to teach kids how to create movies, basically. The principal of the school went to him and said, hey, we know you're interested in film. Can we make like a 3-minute anti-bullying movie? And he said, sure. So we went to talk to the kids, and there were so many ideas for what kids thought of bullying that he ended up making this 30-minute film. We pretty much did it throughout the entire year, at least half the year. But the point was, students became fully immersed in the bullying prevention movement. We all cared about it. Bullying pretty much ended in elementary school. So something like this is what I'm really going for with the ByStandard program. It's not specifically designed to, make a movie for these kids to create, because obviously not everyone's going to have, a director. Not everyone's going to have the tools to make a movie, but something that is dynamic. The experience is the biggest part about it, just because I still remember it today. This was more than 10 years ago. I still remember doing it because I was locked into the character. I was an actor. I played like a bully on screen. I just know, like, feeling what the other kids were saying to me as I was playing the bully just made me never want to do that ever again. I think that speaks a lot louder than a code of conduct. Yes, it'll kick into curriculum time, which is obviously very limited nowadays, but I think it is worth it. It teaches more life lessons than just how to not bully. It teaches how to work with others. It teaches empathy. It teaches how to understand others and what they're feeling. It allows you to put yourself in someone else's shoes, and that's why I think the How to Unmake a Bully series is so effective. Of course, I'm going to drop a link in the description here with all the videos in there if you were interested in watching them. I was a part of the first one, and I think the 7th one, if you were interested in seeing my acting skills. But yeah, it's turned into a 12-picture series, and there are going to be more on the way. So the director, Mike Feurstein, he was the teacher that came to our school, and I had the pleasure of having him on as my podcast guest for this class. I reached out to him through LinkedIn. We set it up. We recorded, a 30-minute podcast talking about, the How to Unmake a Bully series and his thoughts on bullying. It was an absolute blast from the past just to go back and talk to him, nearly 10 years later. And he's just such an awesome person. He really, really cares about the kids. And he's been doing this around the world. He got called from a school down in Melbourne, Australia, and he was making movies down there. And that's absolutely unbelievable, inspiring thousands of students to join the fight to end bullying around the world. And he's one of the main reasons why I decided to choose this for my social movement. It's something that I care about. I've experienced it firsthand, but I really think something like this is the only way to truly end bullying. It speaks so much louder than a code of conduct. That's going to be it for me. I am going to put the How to Unmake a Bully series and the podcast down in the description below if you guys were interested in seeing those. I think it's really worth a watch. At least just watch a little bit of it just to see what Mr. Mike is all about. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. I'd love to chat with you about my movement and about anti-bullying. And even if you wanted to share experiences, I'm definitely down for that too. But yeah, that's going to do it to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Dr. Gordon, thank you so much for an amazing semester. I love this course. And I will see you guys next time.